Hello guys, welcome to Healthy Living at workoutmaster.com. Today we have another delicious recipe for you. I think that this one is gonna really hit a very special spot perhaps in your heart, because what we're gonna make today for you is gonna be lasagna. I know that many of you probably have not had lasagna in a long time because many different reasons. One is because you might be gluten intolerant, you have some IBS issues, constipation, you name it. The interesting thing is that you can make it with all those conditions, that you can make it very healthy, very tasty, and very easily. And what we're gonna do right now is demonstrate to you how easy it is. First, I will address the ingredients that we're gonna be using today. So I'm gonna make a pretty decent lasagna for about, let's say, 4 people's, to have some here and then a little bit for to go perhaps. And so what I have right now is actually 2 pounds of some grass-fed beef that I got from the market. I have about 1.5 pounds of ricotta cheese. I'm gonna use some butter. I have some spices, which are garlic, oregano, salt, and black pepper. And the oregano is very special. I wanna actually give thanks to my friend John for sending me some beautiful stuff. Thank you. And I have about 1 pound of actually shredded cheese. Actually, it's not 1 pound, it's 3/4 pound of shredded cheese that we're gonna use to do the filling. I have 2 cups of marinara sauce. This one you can make yourself, which it will take a while, or you can actually purchase some really good organic stuff that is out there. For, let's say, the matrix of the product itself, to create the layers and baste it, we're gonna use zucchini. We're not gonna use any pasta, and you can be very creative with these guys because you can use carrots, you can use potatoes, you can use sweet potatoes, you can use cassava, you can use a different myriad, even there's a ton of rutabaga. There's a ton of other different, vegetables that you can use instead of using the zucchini. So the possibilities are almost limitless. You can create all kinds of combinations. And let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna prepare the meat, which is very simple, with the sauce to create one of the layers of the pasta and the lasagna in itself. All right, so we're in front of the stove, and what we're gonna do for the 2 pounds of ground beef that we have here on hand, I'm gonna use about 3 tablespoons of butter to cook it. And all I'm gonna do is just heat it up and begin to melt it. I will put the meat on there. I will add the spices that I mentioned to you before. You can obviously use other spices that might be of your liking, and add enough salt to taste. And then I'll show you the second step of how to prepare the meat. All right, I'm gonna add some of the salt. And all we basically wanna do is just take away the red out of the meat, because then it's gonna cook with the pasta sauce. That will be the second step to prepare the meat sauce, and it's gonna cook with the sauce. So you don't have to finish the meat right now. It will cook with the, like I said, with the pasta sauce, and that will give it a fantastic flavor. All right, guys, we took the pink out of the meat, and now we're gonna add the sauce. This is already as it's gotta get. So let me lower the heat. I added the sauce. Now I'm gonna reduce the heat. I'm gonna add the rest of the spices. I'm gonna put a little bit more of salt, more of the oregano, garlic, and black pepper that I have here. And I will let it simmer at a lower temperature so it gets thicker, because we don't want it to be very liquidy. If it's very liquidy, keep it back into the stove and let it get a little bit more solid. Alright guys, well, I have the meat on the stove getting prepared with the sauce and shimmering down until it's a little bit more or less liquid. I'm gonna start creating the matrix itself of the lasagna, which is we're gonna use actually squash zucchini, and the squash zucchini makes it really perfect in flavor. By the way, this recipe is an adaptation from Janet, my girlfriend. She's the one that comes up with most of these recipes, and this is her creation. So let's do an honor to her. So as you can see, we're gonna create some long slices, and off they go into the bowl. And this is what we get. This is exactly what we're gonna use to layer the cheese and the meat and the other cheese. So now with the zucchini, I'm gonna start creating the layers. So as you can see, I'm gonna put slice after slice to make the base. The next thing that I'm gonna add on is going to be the meat, and I'll show you right now when I do that one. Now I'm gonna start adding the meat as part of the first layer. So the meat, obviously you realize that we use 2 pounds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use half of it to create the first layer, and the second half to create the second layer. All right, now I have the ricotta cheese. What I'm gonna do first, guys, is that I'm gonna mix it all together. It makes it that much easier to work with when you wanna spread it really good, because it tends to take the shape of the can or the container that it was in, and it makes it harder. So just put it into a container, work through it with a fork, and I'll be ready to spread over the meat. Now I'm gonna start spreading some of the ricotta. Once again, you're only gonna use half of what you have in the container because you're making 2 layers, so you need to spread it accordingly. Now we're gonna spread half of the shredded cheese to create the top of the first layer. Now I'm gonna build the second layer. We go right back to the zucchini again, and we make a layer of zucchini squash. Yummy. You guys are gonna love this because the flavor is fantastic. It's got really good consistency, and trust me when I tell you, you're not gonna miss pasta if you prepare your dishes like this. This is actually phenomenal. Off we go with the second layer, guys. And now the ricotta cheese for layer number 2. Now the rest of the shredded cheese. So there's a lot of cheese here, but once again, it's lasagna. And let's fill up the corners because we want to make sure, especially food has to have a visual appeal. That goes without saying. So the prettier you make the end product, the more that you're going to impress yourself and others. And obviously flavor, we know for a fact that it's going to be there, because otherwise we wouldn't be preparing it. So we just got to make it look good because we know for a fact that it's going to taste delicious. So now, guys, the hardest part is over. All I have to do is, put the temperature in the oven, set it up, put it in there for as many minutes as is required to get it finished, and it's done. So into the oven it goes. Guys, here's the lasagna. I'm gonna cut all around it to make sure none of it has stuck to the receptacle that we cooked it. This dish is absolutely delicious. I don't even have to taste it to tell you how good it already smells, while it's actually while I'm in front of it. Like I showed you, it's simple to make. The ingredients, they're all high quality, they're very nutritious, and definitely if you eat this kind of lasagna, I guarantee you, and you'll agree with me, that your future looks better already. Until the next time, have fun, share the recipe, have a good time.